Welcome to this sessions of the DevOps. So this is the ninth video of the DevOps series, and previously what we seen that from the Jenkins we are able to generate the artifacts and move that WAR file into the Docker host. So we have the applications, the WAR file we have in the Docker host, but not in the Docker container. So in this video, we will see how to move that particular things to run as a Docker container. This is the main motto of our today's session. And before that, we will have to think about how we can create a Docker container. So Docker container will be created by using the Docker images, and Docker images will be created by Docker files. So we need to write a Docker files to create a Docker images, and from the Docker images we are going to create a Docker container. But in the Docker image we have to call the Tomcat images as well. So we are going to look into this, how we can create a Docker file. So currently we have both the Ec2 instance running, one for the Jenkins and one for the Docker host. So I already connected with the Jenkins, and here we have the Git repository where we have the applications file, and I already connected with the mobile extreme with the particular IP for the Docker host. So you can see that the Docker host have the IP 13.233.142.99. So you can see here the same IP, and I'm connected with the Docker admin. So this is my current location. Okay, and here we have the file, the extract file. But to create a Docker container, we have to write a Docker file from which we are going to create a Docker images. Then we are going to create a Docker container. So I am going to write a file for this. Vi, the D should be capital, Docker file. So I am using the Vim editor to write a Docker file. So before that, we have to write some command into it. So I'm going to click on the I button to go into the insert mode from Tomcat. So this will fetch the image latest. This will fetch the Tomcat image from the Docker Hub, the public repository, because my applications will run on the Tomcat, and we have to move that particular WAR file into the container so that we can access it through the web browser. So for this, I'm going to use the command copy, because we have to copy the file, the WAR file, which is in this particular locations, web app.war. This is the name of the file, and where we have to put it, we have to put it into the container, and by default the locations will be USR local under Tomcat and under web apps. So that's it. So this is the simplest Docker file I created. This Docker file, when I will create an image, and when we try to build a container, it will fetch the image from the Docker Tomcat, fetch the image of Tomcat and move the WAR file to the container in the exact location that is mentioned here. So I'm going to save it. Okay, so Docker file is now saved. So we have two files at this location. One is the Docker file and one is the web app.war file. Okay, so from this particular image, we are going to build an image. So we need to write some command, Docker build -t, and we will name it as a Docker. You can name it as per your requirement, but I am using the project, Docker project. This is the name of my image, and dot. So it will check the current locations for the Docker file to build the images. So here you can see that it's successfully able to build an image, and if you see here Docker images, so you can find that a Docker project, which is the latest image that currently I built, and this one is we built 2 weeks ago. That in the previous demo, for the previous demo session, and this one is the latest one, 30 seconds ago. So we created a now image, so we don't require to pull any images to create a container from the Docker Hub. We have the images that we generated from the Docker files. So it's time to run a container. So for this we need to run some command to build a container from our Docker images that we just created. Docker run -d for detach mode, and here we are going to write a name of the container. Simple call as Docker container. Okay, and we have to define the port also. That port you are going to expose the TAT and the internal TAT. Okay, so we defined all the things, and now it's we have to provide the Docker images name also. So what is the name of the images? Docker project. So this will create a container, the Docker container. From Docker file we created Docker images, and from the Docker images we are created the Docker container. So you can see from the Docker ps command, so you can find that we have a Docker container running. So I am going to access it by using the web URL, and here I am going to copy this one and going to paste it. Okay, so this is the public IP, and the port that I am going to use is the port of the container. So here you can see that now the applications which is running from the container. So this way we did it in a manual in a manual way. So we are now going to use the Jenkins, and from the Jenkins it will create a image. The Jenkins will create an image automatically when we run the Jenkins job manually, and after that it will create the container as well. So now I am going to remove this particular container. So before that I am going to stop it first, because we can't remove the running container. You have to stop it first. So Docker stop Docker. So I stopped this. You can stop it by container ID also, or the name of the container also. Now I am going to remove it. So you will find the Docker container here. Let's clear the screen first. Docker yes. So now the container is removed from the running container list. You can find it here. So this will keep the informations regarding the stopped container or running it, both the container. You will find the informations writing this command docker ps -a. So Docker remove, just write the Docker name of the container. So now the container gets removed. You can verify it as well. Okay, it's removed. We need to remove the images also. Currently we have the Tomcat and the one is that we created from the Docker file. So we will leave the Tomcat as it is. We will remove the Docker project image. And the command will be docker rmi. And then in the name of the repository, that is the Docker project. So this will remove and you need to verify it as well. Okay, so it's removed. Now we are currently in the Docker admin, and let's look into the file tab. Remove this one also. So I'm going to remove rf web app.war. So you have only the Docker file, and you remove the artifacts as well. So now it's time to jump into the Jenkins, and here we are going to create one more new items for just to deploy to Docker container. So we will name it as deploy to Docker. Okay, let's copy it as well. And from here we have to select Docker to because we are going to modify this particular item with a new item name. So just click on OK. Okay, now deploying the var file to Docker, not the host container. Okay, so the Git related things are okay. We don't have to change anything. All the things looks good. The build information is also fine. Okay, under the SSH server, we need to execute some command. The command that we already executed while doing it manually. So we have to execute some commands that will that will create a Docker images, and after that the Docker container. So the command should be cd home Docker admin. Okay. After that, we have to write Docker build -t DevOps. So this is the name of the image, Tomcat image. And here we have to put a space and dot so that it will pick all the informations from the Docker that particular locations, home and Docker admin. We have the Docker file exists there, and it will create an image. After that, we have to write Docker run command detach mode, name of the container DevOps Tomcat container. The port that we are going to use the same as we did previously with the internal port 88. Okay, now we have to use the images, that is DevOps Tomcat image. That's it. So if you see this command, we are just moving the executions command to the home docker admin. After that, we are executing command the same in the same way. Uh, let's put some space so to have a clarity. The build docker build minus t, and after that we are using this is the command to use for the to create a docker images. Okay, so docker file already we have at this particular locations on docker admin locations, and from the when we have the images, we are generating or creating a container out of that particular image. So just apply and save it. And we already removed all the things from here, so you can if all the things looks good, then you will find the web app.war file at this particular locations. Now it's time to build the job, and it's already started here. In the console output, you will get all the informations regarding the building of the job. It will fetch all the applications from the GitHub. And it will start building the applications using the tools Maven. And you can find that here you have the informations regarding this. So it's connected with the Docker host and executed all the command and transferred one file. So here you will find that okay, the file has been transferred. Okay, and if you see clear the screen, and if you see the Docker images, do we have any images created? So you can see here that the Docker images, DevOps Tomcat images is creating. And what about the Docker container? So Docker PS, and here you have the container. So what happened that when we run a Jenkins job, it will move the var file to the Docker host first, and where we executed some command, you on the top of Docker files, it will create a Docker images, and from Docker images, it's created the Docker container. So all things looks good, and when we try to browse this file again, and we have the same output here. So or you can just for the verifications, just copy and close this page, and then you can find it here, all the informations. So you can see that the things is now automated, but not automated fully. What happens if you run the job second time? Suppose just assume that okay, some developer puts the code to the GitHub, and now we automated the Jenkins to just listen for the code changes, and after that it tried to run the job automatically. At that time, we have already a container with the same name exist. So Jenkins will throw an error. We can see these particular things when we build. Suppose that we have a changes. Okay, we don't have the changes, but suppose that we have a changes. Some developer puts the code, and we are building it now again. So when we build it, it will start the build process, and definitely it will throw an error because we already have a container with the same name, and we're trying to create a new container. So this is not possible. You can create a container second time with the same name. So you can see that there is an error. Okay, so this error is due to we are trying to create a second container with the same name. So this finish is unstable and it's not able to create for the latest changes. So you come to you can think like that. Okay, we will at the start we will remove the container. Okay, we will remove the images also. So we will write some code to remove that. Okay, we will remove like a Docker RMI and the container name as we executed the command previously. But think about the situations when the application not exist, the container not exist. At that time, you are again removing the things. Means that at the initial stage, there is no container and you are removing. At that time also Jenkins complains that okay, you are trying to remove but the container not exist. So Jenkins is good for the CI part, not for the CD. And we are currently using Jenkins for the CI also and CD also. The continuous integrations, continuous deployment or delivery. So Jenkins is not good for the CD part. It's good for the CI part. So for this, you can understand one more scenario. Like currently we have integrations of with Jenkins with the one server. What happens when we have the lots of servers? Suppose the 100 servers we have. So we have to integrate each and every server with the Jenkins. So this is the very tedious job. And for this, we can use the Ansible and we can use the playbook, Ansible playbook to do the CD part, the continuous deployment or delivery. So in the next video, we are going to look how we can use the Ansible to write some playbook which will handle all the things like ignoring any error if the container not exist, if we are removing it, if the container exists or image exists, then we will successfully able to remove it. So Ansible is very good tools for that kinds of stuff, and we will integrate Ansible with the Kubernetes things also that we already mentioned in several videos. So this is some kind of CI/CD automations that most of the companies are using nowadays. That we are going to implement in the similar way in our tutorials. So keep watching this particular series of the DevOps. And if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends as well. And click on the like button and put some comment if you have any questions regarding this particular tutorials or this any of the previous tutorials that we provided. So in this way, I will also learn and you will also learn. So you can see this is a type of group study, because I am also learning several things and you are also trying to understand what is the DevOps, how we can use the tools, how we can download the plugins. So this is the very good platform for the learning, and try to utilize it and be safe. Have a nice day. Thank you.